How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be doing a battle of the blades test on some of the industry's leading carpet blades. In this video we're going to be going over Better Tools Gorilla blades, Personna's carpet blades, and Traxx True Edge carpet blades. Stick around, let's see which one holds up to the test. This video, Battle of the Blades, is brought to you and sponsored by Tools for Flooring and E.J. Welch. Tools for Flooring is the leading online store for flooring tools. Check them out. I'll leave a description in the link. So what I'm going to do to put these to the test, I'm going to try to make it as real life as possible. We're going to put these one of each one of these blades in here, and this carpet I've got laid out here is about 5.5 foot a piece. So I'm going to make, with each blade, each brand of blades, I'm going to make a cut, maybe 4 cuts in it. So that's going to be about 21.5 feet of cutting with a particular blade. Then we're going to take it out, look at the damage on the blade, and we're also going to test it cutting pad to see if it makes a difference in cutting pad after cutting 20 plus feet of carpet with it, okay? So first one I'll use, I guess, the Better Tools round blades. We're going to go with them. And all the blades that I'm testing today are round blades. All right, so I got the Better Tools blades in here right now. I'm going to go ahead and make 4 cuts on this. That's going to be, like I said, about 21 or something like that, 22 foot, I guess it is. I am going to have pad under it, so I'm not raking on the bare floor, and I'm going to do each one of them the exact same way. By the way, this is the same carpet. I'll show you guys that in just a second. I actually might do about 5 of these cuts. We'll see. We just want to get a little damage on the blades so we can make a comparison. Okay, now I'm going to stick this blade, since it is with the Better Tools, I'm going to place it over here on my box with the Better Tools box. That way I'll be able to keep them separate. Definitely see some damage on that. This time, this is a new one to me. I've never used the Traxx True Edge blades before, so this is going to be completely new to me. Alright, so again, I'm loading up a Traxx True Blue Edge blade. And let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to make 5 cuts, just like I did with the Better Tools blade. Whoa. I tell you, already on the second cut with this blade, it was already giving me resistance. That's not a good thing right there. That's 3. Four. And 5. Okay, so I'm going to put this blade over here on the Traxx box so I do not get them mixed up with which is which. Now we're going to try the Personna carpet blades. I have used these in the past. I actually used to use these all the time. These used to be my go-to blades. I have switched within the past probably 8 or 9 years ago. I switched to a different brand. So I do have some experience with these. However, like I said, the Traxx was definitely a new one for me. Alright. Just so I don't get confused here, I am going to separate these cuts a little bit right here so I don't get mixed up. Okay. Again, we're going with the Personna knife or blade this time. 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Okay, so about like the Traxx blade, I was feeling some resistance. After the very first cut, I had to actually give a little jerk to get it to sink in and actually start cutting rather than pulling on my carpet. So let's, I want to take all these blades out. We're going to get them all three close together and we're going to look at each one of these blades. I'm going to take this, put it right here on the Persona box so I don't get mixed up. Let's get them lined up and get them in place. Okay, so this right here is the Better Tools blade. I want to try to get, let's see here, I want to get really close here and get a good view on this so you can see the actual damage on this. So as you can see right here, the damage on the blade, I can actually feel it's nice and slick here, and whenever I hit that spot, it is just a little bit rough, which that's common. It just raked through 25 feet of carpet, okay? So we're going to look at the Persona blade now. Again, you can see the wear on it right here. Definitely not common, I mean not uncommon at all. It kind of comes with the territory. Obviously, if you're cutting carpet, you're going to get some wear on it. And the same thing, I can actually feel the roughness of the blade right there. As soon as it hits the dull spot, definitely feel it, and then it starts sinking back in my ink pen right there once it gets sharp again. Let's take a look at the Traxx blade. So this one right here shows the most wear visibly, and also as I was cutting on the very second cut that I did, it actually tried to wrinkle the carpet up as I was cutting, letting me know that it was dull. I could feel resistance dragging as I was cutting it. So I mean, you can even see it slashed, I mean taking the color off all the way up through here. So okay, we're going to start out with the Better Tools blade this time. Let you get a look at it there so you can see. So you can see that I am grabbing the one with the B on it, and we are going to use the used part of the blade. All right, let's see how this cuts. I want to make sure that you guys pay real close attention here, because cutting pad is definitely going to let you know if your blade is sharp or dull. It will try to rip it, it'll pull it, bunch it up like that or whatever if your blade is a little bit dull. So this is going to be the telltale right here. Is it still going to cut pad good or decent after cutting 25 feet of carpet with your blade, okay? I'll do a couple, 2 or 3 passes with each blade, and we'll see if it gets duller and duller and duller, or if it just stays the same. This is a 6-inch, actually this is a 8-pound rebond pad that we're using here, okay? Just so that you know that. So let's go ahead with the Better Tools blade. Okay, and as I do it, I'll let you guys see as I pull it apart. That way you can actually see how it is doing, okay? Okay, so let's take a look at this coming apart here. You can see I didn't cut all the way through. It's just habit whenever you're slicing pad not to cut all the way through. I don't know if you guys do that. I tend to do that. I never want to cut all the way through. I want just a little bit left there. So that is intentional. However, almost to the bottom where I cut, it is a nice clean slice all the way down right there. I did get a little bit deeper here, and it is a clean slice all the way through. Let's come right here and take a look at these edges really close. All right, so let's examine the sides of these pads. As you can see, this is a nice slice right there, except for the very bottom where I did not cut all the way through intentionally, okay? That's just how I do it. Always, this is a nice slice, nice clean cut all the way down till except for the very bottom. That's the same cut. I didn't even have to do that. Same thing here, a nice clean cut. There's a little bit of a snag right there. Must have been a hard spot in the pad or something there. You know how a rebond pad is. And over here, again, it is a nice clean cut all the way through the pad right there where I actually pushed a little harder. So 25 feet of carpet and 18 feet of pad, I think that held up pretty remarkable. Okay, I'm not going to discard this, but I am going to set it over to the side. That's the Better Tools blade. This one right here, we're going to do the Persona blade. Just want to make sure that you guys can see the P on it, so you know I am using the correct blade. And once again, we are going to use the used part of the blade again. And I'll do the same thing. I will cut 3 strips on this, make 3 cuts, which is 18 feet in pad, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. You guys may have noticed I did put my hand here. It's just habit whenever you're doing pad, so I'm going to make sure I do the exact same thing. Everything the same as I did with each blade. I'm going to try to do this as same as I did with each blade. That way there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is what it is, okay? So 18 feet with a Persona blade. Okay. Once again, I can definitely feel resistance in the blade, and come right up here and take a look at this. As I was coming out, exiting this, I actually pulled 2 chunks out, 1 chunk right there. You seeing that? So I pulled out a chunk right there, and I pulled out a chunk right there of the pad. So that does let me know that it is getting pretty dull. Let's pull the pad apart and see how it done cutting through like we did with the other blade. All right, let's take a look at this. Again, I don't cut all the way through intentionally. However, it does look pretty clean. I can definitely see that. It's a pretty clean cut all the way down to about where my blade was cutting in the depth. So nice and clean here. Once again, the edge of that is nice, cut smooth. Same thing here, cut nice and smooth. And the same thing here, it's a nice clean cut. There's just a little bit on the bottoms. Like I said, I don't cut all the way through intentionally. It's just a habit for me. But as far as appearance look, this looks about like the Better Tools one did. So let's go ahead and try the Traxx blade and see how that does. This time we are using the Traxx blade. Okay, there you go. You can see the T on it, just so you know I'm using the correct blade. And we are going to use the used part as well. All right. Same as last time, we're going to do 3 cuts. I can definitely tell. I think this is going to be more of a feel about how sharp these blades are as I'm making these cuts than visibility, because they're all probably, even this one is probably going to show about the same cleanness of depth of cut as the other two. This one definitely struggles more. I can definitely feel more resistance than I can on the other 2 blades there. Okay, let's take a look at pulling these apart right here. I definitely can see a little bit more disruption on this. I was pushing down extremely hard on the first one, not thinking about it. That's why it cut like that. It's just habit, if it's not cutting good, to push down harder. And then I realized I can't do that because I got to be fair with this, so I lightened up like I did on the other 2. So this first one is definitely clean, and then you can see the resistance and tearing of the pad in the other 2 sides. You can even see the tearing of the pad right here and here, and then a lot more here, a lot more here, and here than of the other 2 blades. Let's get really close and examine the sides of this pad again. Okay, so again, this one is nice and clean right through there. Again, I was pushing down harder here than I intended to on this particular cut. I'm not being biased or anything like that. It was just an accident. Anyway, this one here, you can start to see on the back of this some tear out and stuff like that where it was pulling from here. Same thing here. This one is actually a pretty rough cut whenever it starts getting like this, I would definitely be changing my blade. I don't want my pad ripping up on me, okay? And pretty much the same thing over here, okay? That's actually, I can't say that about that because that is a little bit of a tough spot right there. I can feel that, so that's common, okay? So one bad cut right there outside of these tears right here on the end, first starting out, okay? All right, once again, I don't think you're going to be able to tell a whole lot visibly. You're going to be able to tell mostly on this with the feel of these blades. You guys that lay carpet know that you can definitely feel it when your knife starts getting dull and it's time to change a blade. So it's pretty much just a feel thing on these. They all three look about the same. You can see the different colors. This one has a little bit lighter color. The Persona is really dark, and the Traxx is about in between with a little bit of a blue tint. Actually, the Persona and Traxx looks a whole lot alike. There is a mark right there, a silver mark on this Persona blade, but outside of that, the Traxx and the Persona look a whole lot alike. The Better Tools is definitely the one that stands out as being the most different from all three of these, okay? Now let's get to the actual rundown of it and see which one actually performed better. Okay, the rundown of these three blades, which one performed better, which one is the best, and so on and so on. So without being biased whatsoever, this Better Tool blade definitely outperformed the Traxx True Edge or the Persona round carpet blade as well. I based that on how sharp, how much resistance I had while I was cutting the carpet. Again, on the second cut of the carpet, these Traxx blades started digging and pulling on the blade. If you look at that, you'll probably see it in my hand as I was cutting the blade, or as I was cutting the carpet. You can see me get a little start like that. That was the exact same thing with the Persona blade. You had to get just a little jerk like that to sink the blade in the carpet to where it would start cutting versus setting it down and cutting, okay? So Better Tools definitely outperformed Traxx and Persona both, okay? Battle of the blades, Better Tools came out on top. Okay, once again, if you found this video helpful, beneficial, if you feel like it had value to it, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, FBSB's out.